What's up, listeners?
You are listening to CuboldCast.
A podcast focused on co-op and multiplayer gaming experiences. Our hosts are Caleb, myself, Jay,
What's up?
and Chug.
So the gym's open this week, and we went back for the first
Last
time in
week.
3... Oh, last week?
Last week, yeah.
Well, we went back for the first time in 3 months, and we are literally dying right now.
So
It's
bad.
terrible.
Yeah.
I can't put my arms down. It's so
Yeah.
annoying. Our Chug says he pulled something.
I feel like I did. I can't put my arms above my head, and my chest just is killing me.
Yeah, and the thing is we're all doing like a quarter of the weight. A quarter
Yeah.
of the percentage of the weight that we used to be able to do.
I thought I was taking it easy, too.
Yeah, and it's harder than the weight that we were doing. It's like,
Exactly.
and I think it's been 2 days since I've been there, and I'm not ready to go back yet.
It's been
I'll
3 for us.
I'll probably
Yeah.
go back tomorrow, but it's crazy actually. And apparently, you know what's weird? They require you to wear masks on the treadmill, but I saw a couple people without masks.
On the
Well,
treadmill?
When I was on the
Yeah.
treadmill, a lot of times I would pull the mask down to actually like breathe better.
I had to do that too. I wasn't even running. I had to do that.
I was running. It was terrible, but I had to pull it down.
I wonder if that I think that was like one of the reasons why I didn't stay as long was because I had trouble breathing in the mask.
What's
while
weird is
working
they
out.
have every other machine, like treadmill, cardio machine. They have like the caution tape, so you can't go on every other one. So I don't get why they still require you to wear a mask on it.
I don't get it too. Jay, you were talking about that. Apparently, you have that disease now.
Disease?
No.
Oh, no. There's a disease. It starts with an R. It's not a disease. It's like a condition. But apparently your muscles start to deteriorate in your body if you overwork them. And you literally pee it out.
It's so weird.
That sounds horrible.
Wasn't that the first thing you looked up?
Yeah, I'm
or
like,
it came
I
up?
looked up why can't I put my arms down after a workout?
Was
and that was the first thing that came up, and I was like, oh no.
Was it WebMD?
It probably was.
You have
something like that.
cancer. It's like everything.
It's like you're going to be dead next week.
Yes.
When I was at the gym the other day, I forgot to tell you this, Chug. I was laying on the bench because I was benching, and this guy came up like right above me, and he leaned down and looked me in the eye. He didn't have a mask on. He's like, "Are you using this weight?" I'm like, "No, you can have it."
While you were on the bench.
Yeah, he leaned over and stared me in the eye.
It's the
That's
weirdest
creepy.
thing.
I didn't know what was going on. It was weird because out of the corner of my eye, it looked like Ricky at first. So I thought it was someone I knew, and so I looked up, and it was this weird guy.
Cue the Law and Order screen.
Special Victims Unit.
Yes. Oh, that's so weird. Yeah, some people are super strange,
Yeah.
especially at the gym too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just happy to be back, though.
I know. It's actually really nice.
It feels good.
Yeah. We've been dormant for too long.
Yeah, in our hibernation, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to play a lot of fun games over the break, though.
Yeah.
did.
Actually, today I'm starting Last of Us Remastered, which I'm really excited about.
I
That
haven't
is a
played
really
it.
good game.
Okay, so Last of Us basically is my favorite game, and I'm playing Remastered because I'm playing Last of Us 2. I was going to wait until I get the PS5, but basically I can't wait anymore.
It's
Like,
a PlayStation exclusive, so
yeah, I have to play. Like I have to play it, and so I'm gonna play Remastered first for a couple days, and then I think Friday Last of Us 2 is coming in, so I'm gonna play through that. And it's weird. Like I know about the leaks personally, so in like I don't agree with them, but from what I've been hearing, it's almost like you have to go into the game with an open mind, like in order to really kind of like take in the experience. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna go in with an open mind. Like all things aside, I'm going in
most
taking
of the
last.
time you're supposed to do that with a
Yeah,
game.
it's just that you almost want to fanboy for a while, like just
Like our Chug with G Fuel.
yeah.
Yes.
Hey, she feels better than Gamer Subs.
I mean, I agree, but I
you
agree.
never
But
tried Gamer Subs.
I tried it.
You did?
he
the
tried the
lemonade.
lemonade one, which is the worst.
It tasted
Oh.
like it had like a slight medicine.
The
taste.
dragon fruit one is actually good. I actually enjoyed it.
Okay,
That was
but
pretty
still,
tasty.
if I was to purchase something, I couldn't bring myself to get Gamer Subs.
Yeah, no, but at first Chug was like, nothing beats G Fuel ever.
Yeah.
And I will never let anything beat G Fuel.
Well, that's just because I would just love G Fuel so much.
But you know
Yeah.
what? But it's good because there should be other companies coming up challenging G Fuel. That way, there's
bring their
competition.
price down.
Right, bring their price down, up their ingredients. That's how it should be.
exactly.
There should be competitors so that it's increasingly getting better for the consumer. I personally won't buy Gamer Subs, but you know, I think it's good. I think it's good for that.
It was pretty decent.
Yeah.
They sent me another free sample randomly that I didn't ask for.
Nothing's going to beat Lingonberry, though.
Lingonberry's awesome.
Yeah, I'm drinking that right now. I actually want to get that next.
It's so good. We all have Lingonberry right now. And Coke Energy.
No.
I have a Coke
Double energy over there.
I thought you said cutting out sugar.
It's zero sugar, Kib.
It's zero sugar? Are you sure?
Yes, zero sugar.
Diet,
yes. I don't know. Maybe it's a
sodas.
Spartan or whatever that is.
All right, back to Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us. So, yeah, Jay, you're playing it too, right, this week?
I'm playing The Last of Us 2, not the first one.
That's what I mean, yeah. 2.
Yeah, I've only played the first one once, but that one time I did play it, it was incredible.
It's a really good game.
It's probably one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
I still have to play it, too.
You really do.
You probably can after.
Yeah,
After I finish the second one. But the gameplay of the second one looks really good from what I've seen so far.
It does. The graphics look incredible.
Yeah, they do.
It's so impressive.
Mm-hmm. Too bad it's not the PS4 Pro we're playing on, but...
Yeah, neither am I. But still, it's really impressive what they can pull off.
Yeah. I mean, for the first game, when we played it on PS3, we didn't even notice that it was 30 frames, really.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were used to it, like, forever. I mean, we'd never even, like, been exposed to, like, 60, I don't think.
Well, if Naughty Dog made PC games...
That's what we were talking about the other day.
Do you realize how much better it would look? I mean, it would look the same, okay?
It would look amazing.
It would
have
the PC aspect of it.
Because they have more room to grow. But one thing that I was thinking is that they have more room to grow, but it's like with the whole like Little Big Planet thing, they were given a set amount of tools for the PS4. They make the game for the PlayStation, so they know what they're working with, and they're tuned in on that one console, so they know what they can do with it.
Yeah. And if they were to go with PC, they'd have to tackle all sorts of different issues that didn't exist.
Yeah, that'd be
higher
huge.
refresh rates. They'd have to tackle keyboard and mouse inputs, tons of different hardware, and it would just limit what they're able to do. And so I can understand why they limit their exclusives to PS4.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're not AAA. I think they're AA, correct?
No,
I don't know.
AAA.
They're probably AAA.
They did Uncharted.
Yeah, Uncharted series is amazing. I still have yet to play the fourth one, but
I haven't played any of those games.
I think they publish their own games too, as well.
Do they?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But every one of their games that I've seen is just incredible.
Yeah, they do a really good job, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was kind of, I don't know. I won't say anything. I'm just excited to get my hands on it and start it. So
and you can play it in 60 frames though for the first time.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because I'm playing the remastered. That's gonna
be interesting.
Yeah.
I think there's a mode on there that's cinematic mode where you can turn it to 30.
What does that do?
To make it look better?
It just makes it go to 30 frames per second as opposed to 60.
Oh.
It doesn't look better. It's just some people want the 30 frames apparently.
Huh.
Well,
it's kind of
aren't
odd.
movies like in 27 frames or something weird like that?
24.3 or something weird like that. But that's a movie. You don't need to control it.
Yeah.
And so when player input comes into play, you need that responsiveness. Cutscenes sometimes are in 24 frames per second. But even then, it looks jumpy because it goes from 60 to 24.
Yeah.
I like it when the cutscenes in games, they're smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth as butter.
Yeah. The game we're talking about today is called A Plague Tale: Innocence, which is actually, it reminded me a lot of, or not a lot, but at least a little bit of The Last of Us.
Right.
I had Last of Us vibes while playing it.
So essentially what the game is about is it follows the story of a sister and a brother. The sister's is her name's Amicia.
That's the character you play as.
Right. Amicia is the character you play as.
And you play as them both.
You play as them both somewhat. But mainly your focus is on Amicia and Hugo. So it's kind of set in an alternate history type setting.
It's like 1390 something.
During the bubonic plague, but it's got a twist to it. So it's got all the kind of like a supernatural vibe to it, but it's really interesting. And yeah, I did get Last of Us vibes.
The kid Hugo, he has a disease in his blood. I forget what it was called.
Wait, I have it. Prima macula.
Prima macula.
So basically, essentially what this prima macula is it's a hereditary disease that kind of follows through a family's bloodline, and it comes up every time there's basically a pandemic. I think they mentioned it in the game. Like the disease it's not evil or good. Basically, its purpose is to bring change to the world. It's supposed to evolve the world.
So it's kind of like brings balance to everything.
Right. Like every time there's a huge plague, this prima macula comes through the blood of a family. And when it comes up, it brings change and evolves the world.
But whoever the carrier is technically the controller of the plague.
Right. Well, there's like these thresholds that they have to pass.
Each threshold is a new layer of control.
Right. And there's a high chance of the person dying if they can't
control it.
Right. If they can't go through that threshold or break that threshold. Yeah.
So the premise of the whole game is you play as Amicia, and her little brother Hugo is always there with her, almost always there. And you basically control them both at the same time.
Right.
Sometimes you have to have Hugo go through a door and unlock it so Amicia can get in.
I actually liked when the game utilized that.
Yeah, exactly.
It was only in the beginning, though.
Not necessarily. You can tell him to go and grab like a stick or something. Not necessarily.
It's mostly towards the very begining.
Yes.
When you're running away from.
But I liked that aspect of it. It really interests me, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing it's towards the beginning of the game. Actually, you know what? The whole game, but especially in the beginning, is the leaves, the greenery, the trees, the forest. Everything looks incredible. The game is amazing.
One thing I really liked about that is the first scene of the game takes place in this forest. It's all happy and really beautiful.
Yeah.
But the game's called A Plague Tale, and you know that it's about to take a really dark turn. And so right in the middle of that scene, it just, all of a sudden the game just changes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's almost like a horror game almost.
Well, yeah, after that one point, I'm not going to say it because it's kind of a spoiler, but like after that initial section that you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You're running away and the world starts shaking and exploding and all these rats are coming out of the ground, things like that. That's when it took that dark turn.
Right.
It became apocalyptic almost.
But the cool thing about it is they keep that beautiful like layer along with that dark feel to it.
Yeah, there'll be a couple scenes where you're in the sewers or something and there's rats trying to eat you. But you go out of the sewers and you're outside and like the moon is shining down on you and you're just in this really beautiful forest.
I really enjoyed the rat nests. I don't know. It was just something about going into the rat nests and like looking around. It's just you see all the bodies on the walls and things like that. It's
like the rat nests. I don't know. I didn't really like pay too much attention to them, but I did get like what they were going for is like a creepy vibe to it, and it did give you that because you're literally in a rat nest. And what's cool about it is, rats are a huge part of the game, which we'll talk about later. But basically, every time you see the rats or like something big would happen with the rats, there would be an instrument like a violin and it would make this like really squeaky sound. So it would correlate like directly with that. And then it just added to like all the layers.
The atmosphere.
The atmosphere. It's just like creepy and.
But what's cool about the rat nests is it's entirely made up of human bodies. If you notice that.
Yeah, I think
they mentioned that towards the end.
Yeah.
Bones, right?
Yeah, human bones.
Yeah.
You mentioned the string instruments. I'm mentioning that in my buyer pass. The whole soundtrack is very ominous.
It's actually incredible.
You have this creepy feeling the entire game, like something bad is about to happen, and the soundtrack is almost perfect for the game.
Yeah,
similar to Vampire. Actually,
it's the same composer as the composer that made Vampire. Very cello heavy, very basic orchestra, but they utilize a lot of the like weirder aspects of the instruments and make it like give you that really creepy vibe. That's like it gives you goosebumps.
Wait, what is that one instrument that is like it has a handle and it has a circle around the base and basically it has these little like what is it?
It's probably a percussion instrument.
Well, no, it's made to make weird ominous noises.
Oh, is it that horror instrument?
It's the horror instrument. Yeah.
Is it the one that you like play it with airwaves?
Yeah, you use a metal
No,
pole.
not that one.
No, you use a metal pole and you like basically use it like a mini xylophone. You pull the pole over the metal pieces.
Oh.
And it makes that like weird
sound. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But they didn't use something like that for this game. It was all the string instruments.
Yeah.
Like the violin just screeching.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They use a lot of like abstract areas of the instrument to create this, to add to the atmosphere. Which I think
people are just really talented in doing this type of stuff.
Yeah. But that's even like when you first got the game, you were saying that the soundtrack is amazing. And then we both looked it up and we found out that it's the same composer as Vampire.
I know.
It's really interesting, actually.
The sound design is really good, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching you finish the game last night, and you were AFK for a little bit. And I was just listening to your stream, like in the background.
Right.
I heard birds chirping, animals in the woods. I heard the wind blowing and fire crackling and all that. Yeah. It sounded really good and really immersive.
Which I think that a lot of games kind of ignore.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of disappointing because that is kind of an unseen area in games that kind of adds to the atmosphere, it adds to the immersion. But it's like those little details that they put into the game that really like adds to it.
It's like one of those games where you need to wear headphones to get the full
experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about the rats actually.
It's obvious they spent a lot of work on that system.
I know.
And it's
crazy.
Optimized too, surprisingly.
Yeah,
I didn't get any frame drops in the rats.
I had one, but that was about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was at one specific part. I forget what it was.
Was it the big rat nest?
Maybe. But basically, the rats in this game, I don't know if there are thousands, but there very well might be.
I think.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Definitely
the
hundreds.
end of the game. End of the game, I'd say thousands.
There are literally thousands of rats on screen at one time, and they'll just gang up on you and eat you if you come too close to them.
But if you have fire, they're
scared of light.
They're scared of fire.
Light.
Did you ever notice that if you have fire and you corner a bunch of rats,
they'll disappear?
Yeah, they just kind of turn into smoke almost. Yeah. Which, that's kind of a creative way to handle that because otherwise, what are they going to do? Just disappear?
And the good thing is, like, those rats are the supernatural kind of aspect of the game, so it kind of like, you can kind of write it off.
Yeah.
Like them just disappearing or whatever. Yeah. Or like burning into flames or whatever.
I mean, the game really isn't about realism.
Right.
The main focus of the game is the story. So they took a lot of avenues that kind of suspend belief with the gameplay. Right. So it fits the story. Like the boss fights, they're so incredibly slow.
Yes.
And they almost drag on.
So there are a few boss fights in the game, which me and Jay were talking about this last night. There's a sense that the game doesn't really know what it really is.
Yes.
Like it struggles with what they're going for. And the boss fights was one of those things that personally I didn't enjoy.
It's almost like they try to do Dark Souls like boss fights in the middle of a story-based game.
Right. Yeah. And it's like okay, for instance, the puzzles, they fit because I can see that in a game like this. Like the puzzles, there are puzzles in the game and they're nothing crazy or intricate.
They don't make you feel smart when you solve them.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm kind of stupid because they left this for you in this specific spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of just going through the motions of playing the
It's
game.
almost like filler in a way. But they try to do boss fights and they try to like add in some of the other aspects that don't really work.
Well, the dodge button, you only use that in the first boss fight.
What even is the dodge button?
I don't know.
It's like thrown in and I completely forgot about it.
I think you could actually dodge away from enemies, like normal enemies that attack you, but I forgot about it and the game never reminded me of it again.
Well, what's weird is why would you need to dodge away when you could just chuck one of those like either the things that take their helmet off or the things that attract the rats.
Sprinting at you already, you can dodge away from them.
But the guys with the shields though.
Yeah,
it's probably best for those, but I'm not 100% sure.
Actually, now that you mention that, there's crafting in the game, and then there's
alchemy.
Alchemy, yeah, in the game. The crafting, me and Jay were talking about this. It's kind of useless, honestly.
You can go through the entire game and not craft a single thing, and you could still finish it just fine.
Yeah, I'll say one thing though. Crafting is useful about like a quarter to halfway point because. Personally, I upgraded my sling, which is your main actually weapon aside from the alchemy stuff. I upgraded it to where it was faster and I could hold more storage. But after that point, I completely forgot about the crafting.
You can actually upgrade the sling to the point where it doesn't make any noise when you throw it.
Oh, wow.
So you can take out enemies easier. You don't have to do it, though.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an added thing if someone really wants to just be a completionist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, Chug, did you use the crafting a lot?
I actually did. I got that upgrade where, you know, when you actually have to make an upgrade, you have to find a tool first, and then you have to get everything. There's an upgrade that you can get that negates the tool. You actually don't have to find a tool to upgrade. So it's easier to upgrade every time.
Even then, though, I always found every upgrade station there was always one tool laying nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
but
give
I
it to
did
you.
craft a lot, though.
Yeah.
I found myself in like trying to use different things in different situations. Like maybe you have to use ignifer, which is the fire, and it starts things on fire, like campfires and lights.
Well, okay, well we have to separate it because there's the crafting, which upgrades your let's say like your storage or your sling, and then there's the alchemy. The alchemy I found myself using the whole time. The game is
you have to use alchemy.
It's heavily centered around that.
But we're talking about what you said before. Upgrading the sling and then upgrading the storage for your ammunition and
Did
all
you,
the
like-
alchemy items.
Did you use that sense of the crafting a lot?
I upgraded those two things to the max, but most things I maybe did 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I didn't really focus
I
on
think
that.
for most people, it's kind of like that side of the crafting was kind of thrown in. But I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's good that they added it in.
Well,
'cause
me
you can-
personally, you guys know that I'm kind of a completionist
Yeah.
to an extent. So I wasn't actually a huge fan of finding everything in this game.
There were collectibles.
I noticed that.
Like
I
a lot of collectibles.
didn't care, and I don't think I found
could
a single
care
one.
less about the collectibles in this game. I was more focused on the story.
Yeah.
Hmm
I mean, the game is.
It's incredibly linear.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's really linear.
Basically, there's usually 2 ways to do things: kill everyone or sneak by them,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And why
There's
would you sneak? It's more fun to just take everybody out.
some sections you have to.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I
but-
said, yeah. There's a major issue in the game, and we all experience this. Is that the AI in the game is terrible?
It's horrendous.
It is so bad.
It
You
feels
walk in
like-
front of somebody and they're like,
What is that?
Who is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked in front of a guy. He turns around after seeing me and goes, "Who's there?" It was like it's worse than PS2 level
It's
AI.
really bad, and it's sad because that's actually I'd say a major aspect of the game is sneaking around and trying not to get killed because you can get one-shotted.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
you get one-shotted. That's
yeah,
it.
you can't take multiple hits.
Yeah.
A
It's
lot of
arrow,
arrow
you're dead.
games, if you notice, like I know this is not really a good comparison, but Hello Neighbor.
Wait, what?
Well, I
No,
think
no.
it-
Okay, so it has AI that learns that kind of thing.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Like they learn from whatever the person's doing. So if they went that route and they actually had like smart AI in the game, it would be a lot harder than it is.
I think it would be more interesting that way.
I don't think they could make it learn because that'd be a little difficult.
But at least
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I feel like it's
Smarter
it's
AI. Just
yeah.
they just need
smarter
smarter
because they're
AI.
so dumb.
I could
Mhm.
see the knights with the helmets with the little slats.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to see out of those, but
Yeah.
the guys that are just like
Have
they don't have
no
any
helmet,
helmet at
yeah.
all. They're just stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So sneak. Yeah, but you were saying sneaking around. You can either do it 2 ways: sneaking around or just killing everyone.
hmm
About halfway through the game, I stopped sneaking around and I just killed everyone.
Well,
Pretty much.
it gets to a point where waves of enemies are running at you and you're killing them all with a slingshot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
It is kind of weird, yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, after chapter 14 is where the gameplay takes a turn for the worst. The story is the most interesting at that point,
That's what I was going to say.
but the gameplay is just not fun after that.
Oh, just that one section. I think we all had issues with it, but I'm not going to spoil anything. But right before the final boss fight, the guys
yeah.
are flooding out of the building, and you got to try to take them all out.
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst part.
I was actually raging.
Mhm.
Like, I was getting mad.
There were so many guys, and your friends weren't helping. You
Yeah,
were the
no.
only one doing it.
Yeah.
I'd say that, like, you were saying that the story takes a lot of, or that's where, like, the story is, like, most intriguing. For me, it's like a slope. The start of the game, the first couple chapters, I was extremely intrigued, really interesting, and I was, like, really involved in trying to figure out, like, what these characters, like, all the, like, you know, trying to figure out the characters. Then it kind of took a slope, and, like, I kind of, like, lost myself in, like, the middle part of the game. And then around, chapter 14 is when it got, like, extremely interesting.
hmm
But the gameplay aspect of the game really dropped off at that
Mhm.
point.
One thing that I just thought of that kind of shows how confused they were about the genre is that a lot of the fights and boss fights and also the just general gameplay, sometimes you have to die in order to figure out what's going on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which takes you out of the story, and the
True.
story is the main part of the game.
Right.
So it's like purposely immersion breaking to make it more difficult on you. Like the cart push part. I'm not going to say what's going on there, but did you have trouble with that part?
Library?
No, the cart pushing part where you're pushing the cart and then you have to try to kill the people that are coming down the stairs and the archers are shooting at you towards the end of the game, like final chapter. I think.
Yeah.
And they just keep coming at you wave after wave.
Yeah.
I
died
didn't
a-
have any issues. I went through that without dying.
I died a
I
couple
died like
times.
3 or 4 times on that part.
Mhm.
Then the final boss, they don't tell you anything, so you have to die 3 or 4 times at least before
Yeah.
you figure out what's
It's
going
way
on.
more than that we all
Oh, I died more than 10 times on that boss.
But the issue is that there are only 3 boss fights in the game. And it's strange because it's not that type of game. And they threw in the boss fights. Like, maybe if there was more, it would be slightly more believable, but it's just kind of like weird.
Yeah.
like-
if there is another game what I'm hoping for is that they take their genre and they change it to one specific one. Like, go for a storytelling, or if you really wanted to, they could go Dark Souls level.
I would prefer linear storytelling.
Yeah,
because the story is really good, I'd say.
I would not want them to go more gameplay focused.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that your weapon of choice is a sling. That's why the first boss fight, I was actually getting mad because it was so clunky. Like, the game isn't made for that kind of those mechanics, and it just felt so odd.
Mm-hmm. Immediately after that first boss fight, that was the first time you actually kill someone. Amicia was like, "Oh no, what have I done?" And then you go in the church, and she's like, "Forgive me for killing him." And then all of a sudden, she's going and killing dozens of soldiers. I know that there's an argument where their experience changed them, but it's so fast and so abrupt.
Well,
to the point where you can literally kill innocent soldiers. Or not innocent, but they're laying on the ground, and you can just feed them to the rats.
So I had some time to think about it. I watched some cutscenes this morning, and I'd have to disagree, because watching the cutscene, there is a lot of time where you actually see her regret what she did. And you even see Hugo question her. Even in the dialogue of walking around, you hear them talking about it. And I think that's kind of like what the point of the game, not the point of the game, but that's a huge part of the story, is that it's called Plague Tale Innocence. This tragedy happened, and that they're innocent kids, but they're forced to do these things. Like, it's almost like you see their innocence slowly fade away from them. Mm-hmm. And you do see like a ton of remorse, but you're right
it
about
was abrupt.
later. I'd have to argue with you, because there is a long period of time where you actually see her having remorse, and you see Hugo even questioning her, like, is this even my sister?
True. But you can also have the option to kill soldiers a lot after that.
That's like chapter 15 or 16. Like,
as soon as you get access to the slingshot to get it to fight normal enemies, then it just really goes to that point.
Yeah, it would have been a cool idea if they made the game in a way that you can play however you wanted instead of
pacifist.
Yeah, you can literally go through the game without killing a single person.
That would be interesting, actually.
Maybe different endings.
Yeah.
Ooh.
One thing I did think of, when there's a part where you see wounded soldiers laying on the ground, and you have the choice to break the lantern and let the rats go and eat them. And Amicia says, "Oh, you got what you deserved." And the other kid with her, Lucas, is like, "Amicia, why?" Or something.
You can save them.
You can save them? How?
Yeah, if you go up to them, you can save them.
But the problem is that doesn't affect your story, does it?
That's what I mean.
Doesn't.
Like that, I felt like there should have been some other scene or something.
There really should have been, because it ends all the same way no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Like, you can kill the soldier or leave him alone. Nothing changes.
See, that's the thing. That would make it a lot more interesting. If there was a way to play the game pacifist, then it's almost like you could see the outcome. Like, maybe they do keep their innocence through all this. But
yeah, maybe
kind of just do whatever you want.
Maybe the ending of the story is different.
Yeah.
Maybe
that would be
a different boss fight or something different like that.
But I think they wanted to set it up for another game, which they already somewhat confirmed it.
Did they?
Yeah. So the end of the game, there's a point where the characters are walking towards a ship. Final scene of the game. Mm-hmm. Then on their developers, I think Twitter or something, they posted a picture of that ship, like as like a hint to something.
What do you guys think about the ending?
They left things open ended, which I can't really talk about some of them, or else it'll be spoilers.
Right.
But they did leave some things unexplained, which I hope they explain in the next game.
Yeah.
I did like the ending though.
Did you like it?
I did like the ending. Yes.
I liked the ending. Yeah, I actually enjoyed the ending.
I thought it was pretty fitting.
Yeah, and you're right. They did leave some things open. So if they are going to make a new game,
which I kind of hope they do.
Yeah, they need to figure out their genre.
Yeah,
like, seriously, they need to stick to a story, a linear story, and I'd say really work on the puzzle.
Yes,
because if there are going to be puzzles in the game, it kind of needs to be something that you're satisfied completing. You know?
Yeah,
can't just be like these basic things. But I'd say that like. There is combat in the game, and I think that's really cool how they did the whole like alchemy thing. So if they bring that back and maybe even like expand upon it.
And the way the rats avoid the light. So you have to shine the light in certain areas to walk through without getting eaten by the rats.
Yeah.
Or you can take the light off the soldiers and have the rats eat them.
Yeah, like for instance, sometimes there'll be like a soldier with a lantern, and you'll put a rock in your sling and basically break his lantern, and the rats will like eat him up.
Yeah. which is really cool. I really enjoyed that.
Or sometimes there'll be for instance, like someone hanging from a tree. You'll cut like a dead person. You'll cut the rope with your sling, and then all the rats will start eating that body, so you can get through.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or there's one part where you take a pig, you feed a live pig to the rats so you can get away.
Yeah.
And Hugo was
Hugo.
sad.
The little kid is really cute.
He is really cute.
I like his voice actor. I don't know if it was an older voice actor or if it was a little kid.
It's a little kid. Yeah.
That was weird. That didn't sound like that was you. But yeah, he did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
You take kid or child actors from other movies and stuff, and usually they're pretty bad actors.
Yeah. I think he did really good.
But
Hugo.
almost every voice actor in the game was really good.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked Amicia. Lucas was debatable.
I like Lucas.
Yeah,
He was
more
him.
of like a scholarly kid, so it kind of fit him.
Yeah, I guess the voice, the robotic, monotone kind of thing fit his character.
This is what I'll say. I like Amicia, I like Hugo, I like Lucas. The rest of the characters I could care less about.
Yeah, the two twins and then the one blacksmith kid.
Yeah.
I didn't like them.
didn't really care for them at all.
The twins were just annoying.
They were
always
actually,
bickering.
Yeah.
Like their game never gave you any reason to like them.
They were undeveloped.
Yeah.
Underdeveloped, yeah.
They kind of developed Roderick the blacksmith a little bit.
Slightly. But they didn't have enough time.
Towards the end of the game.
They introduced him too late, I feel.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
I think so, because there actually was a lot there. Like things with his father and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like they didn't have enough time, or they didn't put enough focus on him. Like,
well, first of all, after chapter 14, the 3 months or whatever, was it 3 months?
Yeah.
1 month.
No.
1 month?
December to January.
Yeah, that's a whole month that the game didn't give you. So I mean, that was, I don't know.
You know what I would have liked? Like their hideout place. If they spent more time showing that area, like you were saying, that 1 month, if they showed more time of them, I think one of the problems is that it cut from December to January, and then you kind of see how they communicate with each other. It changes. Like they're more friendly with each other. They know each other more. They're not like so much like awkward or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like if they showed parts of that where they actually started becoming really good friends, then I would have cared for them a little more.
Yeah.
So in Red Dead 2, your main base of operations is your camp, which all the main characters of the game are at. And you can walk around the camp at nighttime or whenever you want, and the characters will be talking to each other.
But they do something different every night.
Yeah, and you could talk to them. And slowly over the course of the game, you get to know the characters more, and you kind of develop like a sense of who they are, and you even develop like a relationship with them in game too.
But it feels lively though. Like that's what's cool about it.
It is, yeah. So it would have been kind of cool if they did a similar aspect where you could walk around the hub, the castle area, and just talk to them and see what they're doing, which they somewhat had that, but not to the extent Red Dead did.
That's what we were saying. It's extremely linear. There was some sort of like openness to at least the characters.
Yeah.
It would have made you cared for them more. But yeah, I actually have to play Red Dead.
It's a really
at some
good game.
point.
And
But
we got to do a podcast on it.
Yeah, I just have a lot of games to play. So, but once
that was a long game too. I think it took me 50 hours to beat it.
It's 50.
That's not even,
it's 50 for like if you want to like nonchalantly beat the
wait,
campaign.
Chug, what was the completionist? How many hours?
Like 500 something.
Oh my,
that's crazy.
500.
It might be like 400 or 500 for a completionist to complete it 100%. Not counting Red Dead Online. Not counting Red Dead Online, which is
what even is Red Dead Online? Like
it's like GTA Online, but cowboys.
It's a lot different.
Do people play it though?
They do. It's super grindy, like super grindy.
So is GTA Online though.
I know, but
well, they give out like
super
couple
grindy. I can't
well,
really explain.
That's after the game has been out for 7 years.
They're milking that game. They need to release another game.
On the PlayStation stream, the first game they showed was a 7-year-old game.
Yeah, I know.
Like something new, please. At least do something with Red Dead because it's the newest title.
Yeah. What is it? PS3, PS4, and PS5.
Yeah.
GTA 5.
People are kind of sick of it, except for the online crowd.
Well, the online's still fun. It's just that we want something new. Like we don't want all the updates are great, but we want a new game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like you go to space and have spaceships, and I don't even know what's
Is there
going on.
really space?
There are space guns, and there's not actual outer space. They haven't added any new maps, but they've added tons of stuff like spaceship level vehicles and stuff like that, like the flying bike things.
Yeah.
Flying cars, alien miniguns.
Yeah, they need to release a new game. But anyway, what were we on? Yeah, character development. So I think that the three main Lucas is a main character.
I like Lucas.
They're the 3 main characters, like the core characters, I like. Yeah, and I actually cared about. But the rest of them, I could honestly care less.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and they don't do anything to develop them that much either.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
you are
do
with them for a while, but you don't
a little
really
bit of dialogue
you
here
don't
and there.
learn anything about them. Like, I mean, you don't really learn about the
Small
twins.
things.
Like,
But it's like gameplay dialogue. Or like sometimes if you're like doing a puzzle, you hear them like converse with each other.
Or they'll be fighting or something.
Yeah.
And that's all you really get to know about them.
Mm-hmm.
And especially Roderick. He was one of the later scenes in the game.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. He wasn't developed enough. If they introduced him earlier, I feel like I actually could see myself caring about him.
Especially that one, the male twin.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I didn't like him at all.
Well, he was gone for chapters of the game because he got like captured.
I guess he was captured for a while, but you never see how he breaks out.
I feel like if they made the game longer and like focus more on the characters, it would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
It was mainly Hugo and Amicia though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Which there was one part that you mentioned it last night. I don't want to say it exactly because of spoilers, but where she hugs Hugo, and they kind of just like throw out a side plot.
I actually looked it up, and it's like that was a threshold, but they don't explain.
So did he go back to the previous threshold when she hugged him?
The threshold was holding back from doing something, and then when he did that, he broke the threshold, and he was able to survive and gain more control or something.
They didn't explain it though.
That's what I'm saying. We were lost at that point. They needed to kind of like tell us what's going on. That's why like with the whole Prima Macula, like it's very vague, but it's extremely interesting. That's why they need to explain these things more.
Yeah,
the game leaves you wanting to know more about it.
Yeah,
but it doesn't tell you enough.
It's almost like it's very deep and very intriguing, but they only show you surface level stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even after the end of the game, they don't explain anything else.
Right.
Well, it's kind of like a prologue, but it's like
it is a prologue, yeah. But and they kind of set up for the next game a little bit, but they don't explain anything from the game at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't get the part where I mean it's not really a spoiler or anything, but it's like you want to go to the party or whatever, and then they didn't allow
the
them
circus or the fair?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was because they were both well known, and they might have been being hunted by people.
Yeah, he said that.
Okay.
They're being tracked down or
that's why
something
they were
like
like leaving the area or something.
Yeah, I guess they're on the run or something.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand why, because
I don't know either.
I
was
thought
a
they
weird
won, but
Yeah. Well, basically throughout the whole game you're running away from the Inquisition.
and also random villagers too.
Yeah, random. Are you?
Yeah, very beginning of the game, the villagers are trying to kill you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, partially because you killed the boss guy.
That happens the end of the village part though.
Yeah.
True.
Actually, that brings up something. I really like how when you're in the village. So basically, Amicia and Hugo are kind of royalty, like not really royalty, but
What is he,
they're
like a duke or something?
something like that. They're like born into somewhat of a rich family.
Nobleman
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
thing.
And so when you're in the city areas of the game, basically you see all the destruction of the plague, and it's like people are sick, people are dying. Especially later on in the game, you'll see people in the waters, like dead bodies in the waters, which is actually I'm pretty sure that's something that they actually did during the bubonic plague.
Yeah.
So like you'll see all these dead bodies in the water and people like literally dying in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's something that's really cool. I think they captured it really well.
They did.
Also, that also reminded me of something. Kind of like one scene before, she's royalty almost, and she's living in her giant mansion of a house. Everything's perfect, yet the city is dying, and they didn't even know it.
Yeah.
And it was obvious that was going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And she was just sheltered from all of that destruction and stuff.
But what about the part where you're walking in that farm and there's the thousands of dead animals everywhere?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the
All those
pigs.
Yeah, and there was
horses.
like blood everywhere. It was like
The game does get pretty gory.
it does.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in the kills you do, though.
No.
It's only only really the scenery around
Right.
you. The bodies on the ground, and the rats will just eat a person whole.
Yeah. What I do like is actually, like later in the game, especially when you're playing like a character and you see these like half-eaten bodies or dead bodies all around, you'll hear them like say something, and they're such young characters that they're actually genuinely disturbed by it.
Yeah, she'll say, "Don't look, Hugo," and
Yeah.
then they'll walk over a bunch of dead bodies.
Yeah. But it's like That's the thing. Like you mentioned, they're sheltered. Like you're following the story of these sheltered, like slightly like royalty, and they're losing their innocence basically. Like seeing all this tragedy and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Which I thought it was a really cool aspect of the game.
Yeah.
And I think they pulled it off really well. Also, the beginning, probably second scene, when you're running through the village, that was an intense scene.
That was.
I really liked it.
Oh yeah. Well, that was towards the beginning, right?
Yeah, where you first go to the village and see all the people dying from the plague.
Yeah, that was.
You're sprinting through the streets as the villagers are trying to chase you and kill you. And you're going through houses and stuff, and the music was intense.
Yeah.
And that was one example of the gameplay perfectly matching up with
The genre.
the story. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and the genre.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I can't say the same for the rest of the game, especially with the boss fights.
Yeah. Yeah, the boss fights were weird. See, it's weird. Like it sounds like we're like bashing the game, but I actually did enjoy the game.
I did too.
Like,
Yeah.
I really like the game. I think the story is like really great. It's just that there's some aspects that were kind of like odd and out of place.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of hope that they fix it if they do another game.
Yes.
And that would make it really good.
Focus more on one genre.
Yeah. I'm just curious as where they can take the story now.
Yeah, I mean, the villain was kind of the generic, I'm going to take over the world villain.
Yeah.
He wasn't anything special.
How about Lord Nikolai?
He was pretty cool.
He was cool.
The thing is, like, he was so interesting when you first like see him, and he was actually scary. But like, it's almost like later on in the game, or they kind of like didn't really show him too much. He wasn't the main villain, but
he should have been, really.
He really actually, yeah,
because he started all of the stuff that precipitated the story, really.
He was more interesting than the main villain.
Way more interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
He was mysterious. You didn't see his face at all.
Yeah. I feel like they kind of like tossed him away in a way. Like,
They kind of did.
Kind of,
somewhat.
yeah. With a lame boss fight.
yeah. Although I'd say that's probably my favorite out of all of them.
It was the best. Still wasn't great.
I just don't understand why they did that. It's kind of weird. But.
Yeah. Every single boss fight usually entails someone walking towards you slowly. Like literally just crawling towards you. And you have to go, oh, let me throw my rock at him and hit him while they're just walking towards me.
It's like they slowed down the movement of the boss fights like 50%. It's like
Yeah, they had
so
normal movement, but they just couldn't get past it. So like, you know what? Let's just cut the movement on this guy.
So it sounds like we're bashing the game, but I think we all can agree that we really did enjoy the game.
Yes.
The story's really interesting and intriguing. I'll say this. The one problem that we had with the game, or it's not a problem actually. We all got it on sale. Yeah, the price. It's what is it? 45?
45 base.
45 base dollars. I can't say that I would buy it for $45.
Never.
I wouldn't either.
I would
can't
say
buy it.
$20 is pushing it. $15 is a perfect price.
We
for it.
got it for
Yeah.
15.
Yeah.
This is the kind of game that I feel like should have been offered for $20 by default,
Yeah.
not 45.
It's
Definitely not AAA.
yeah.
It's not even halfway up to a level of a AAA game.
Well, it's
Right.
around 10 hours of gameplay in total.
It's shorter, yeah.
If you
it's
don't
short.
really go for the collectibles, it's about 9 to 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like $15, $20 is a perfect price for it.
15. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'd pay 20.
I'd pay 20.
Would you?
I would pay 20 for the story. Only for the story.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's like the saving grace of this game is the story.
A lot of the gameplay is fun, but I wouldn't buy it just for the gameplay.
Right.
Like, you need that story to kind of prop it up.
And it's
Yeah.
one of those games, you guys know that I like to redo games after I
Yeah.
complete it. That was the type of game that I play
didn't
once and I'm done with it.
I think
So-
it's mostly because you experience the story for what it is, and then you kind of just
Yeah.
move on. But
I mean, afterwards, you might watch some videos trying to explain
yeah,
some of the
But
unexplained
you don't
stuff.
play it again. I mean,
I wouldn't play it again.
I wouldn't
no.
play it again.
I wouldn't either.
That's why we would say it's probably $15 or $20 worth.
Yeah.
So it's not so much of a review, but we can all agree that it's not really, in our opinion, not worth $45.
It's not worth
Yeah.
full price. Get it on sale.
I mean,
Yeah.
whereas a game like The Last of Us would be easily
Oh,
$60 for
Oh,
that
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
But you get The Last of Us vibes from A Plague Tale, but it's nowhere near that quality.
Yeah. Well, you don't go through crossing the United States like in Last of Us. Like you
You
go
do
through
travel around a little bit. But
not as much. I mean, there's just I don't know. It's a good game. I mean,
It is
it
good.
does good for what it has. I guess you could say.
Mhm. Just don't expect any Last of Us quality.
Yeah. So
If you go in with that mindset and you also pay a pretty cheap price for it, I think you'll enjoy the game.
if you guys haven't checked out our Discord server, it's listed on our website at cuboldgaming.com. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.